What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel here at Shay TV. As per a request by one of my viewers, I am going to be doing a natural look makeup tutorial. And for this look, it was kind of hard for me to differentiate what I deem to be a natural look because for me, baking and contour is natural. However, I know that's not the case for many people, and so what I decided to do for this video is to include the basics, right? First, primer, foundation, concealer. We have contour, which is really gonna be a bronzer because I'm not gonna be doing too much cream contouring at all, if at all any. I'll be doing more of a bronzer, a blush, a highlight, and a little bit of setting powder. That's just for me because of my under eyes. And then of course, we're gonna have chapstick and mascara. So for me, that is a natural look, what that consists of. And if I wanted to do that every day, I could. And of course, my eyebrows, need to have those done. Now, as you can see, I have a really big mark on my forehead. This is actually from my curling iron that I burned myself a few days ago and I'm still recovering. But anyway, so I obviously have to be a little bit skeptic when it comes to covering it. I'm gonna do the best that I can, but of course it is a burn. So if it doesn't get covered up, don't come for me. Again, I'm just focusing on the foundation, the look, and everything that kind of comes into what I do when I do natural makeup. Also, I do not have my eyebrows done, so I'll be crafting my own eyebrows, which of course a lot of people do. Not everyone has the time to go to the salon, get them waxed, pluck them, or you're just waiting for them to kind of grow out a little bit. And that's kind of where I am, is in that growing phase. So I would like my eyebrows to continue to grow a little bit thicker because I have made them skinny over time. So that's kind of what I'm working on. But I'm gonna go ahead and dive into my products, what I'm using, and how I'm gonna go ahead and apply them, whether it's with a brush, a sponge, or even a pencil. So stay tuned for that. Okay, let's get started. So you want to definitely start with a clean, moisturized face. How you moisturize is completely up to you. Some people wash their face and then put lotion. Some people wipe their face off with a makeup wipe and then prime. It's completely at your preference. For me, just cleaning my face is totally fine. I'm totally okay with that and I'm comfortable with it. So that's part of my routine as a generic kind of thing. And before I apply anything, that is the first step that I'll do. The second step that I'm going to do is apply primer. And this is the primer that I use. It's by NYX. I do have two different kinds of primers. I have one that is white colored, and that's by Milani. But this is also one of my favorite because it is like a transparent kind of primer and it feels a lot more smoother on my skin. Keep in mind, you need to find a primer that works for you. Not everybody's primer is one size fits all. So you might have to go through a period of breaking up with some of your primers before you find the one that works. Fortunately for me, this is what works for me. And again, this is NYX Clear Studio Perfect Primer. Okay, and that's what it looks like. So for me, I will not apply a lot of primer because let me tell you, primer goes a long way. So you don't want to make your face too oily by applying too much primer. Now that I went ahead and applied my full primer, we're gonna go ahead and start with my foundation. The foundation I use is from ILMAKIAGE. It's the I Woke Up Like This foundation, and my shade is 105. And I am not using a beauty blender for this. I'm actually using the brush that came with it. I feel like this is the most effective way to apply my foundation evenly. And for me, I definitely like full coverage, so you'll see me kind of do multiple coats. However, with ILMAKIAGE, it doesn't really require me to do that many. So one of my favorite things about this foundation, it is a little expensive, but if you can afford to give it a try, why not? I mean, you get 14 days and you can like return it if you don't like it. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that for you guys and then we'll move on from there. Okay, so now that I've went ahead and did my entire face and foundation, as you guys saw how I applied it and tried to kind of cover up my burn a little bit, but what can we do, right? It was an accident and I'm really not ashamed of it. It happens to all of us females who try to curl our baby hairs. Now the next part I'm gonna do is my concealer. And this is also by ILMAKIAGE and it's the Flawless color. And my specific concealer color is 8. Now, I do have a preference when it comes to my concealer. I actually like to use Tarte. And so I think I'm actually going to swap this one out because I don't really feel like using this one today. The reason why I like Tarte is because it offers deeper coverage. I feel like it definitely gets into my creases and underneath my lines, like for my eyes. And for that reason, I will use that as my go-to. I actually prefer it over Il Makiage, so we're just going to swap that out real quick. And boom. All right, so this is the Tarte Double Duty Beauty. And this is the Shape Tape Concealer, which is the best concealer I feel like that has ever been made. I literally love it. My color for my concealer with Tarte is 35N, which is a medium kind of shade. And this is how I apply it when it comes to no matter what I do, whether it's heavy glam, light glam, natural. Concealer is my friend because I obviously don't have the perfect complexion, so I make do with what I have. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this for you next. Alrighty, so when it comes to my blending of my concealer, I do use a beauty blender. It is completely of your choice. My beauty blender is from BH Cosmetics, and please excuse me, it does need to be clean. Again, do not come for me. So I do use like a nice teardrop shaped beauty blender, and that's for me to be able to get really close to my inner eye. And I just like the way that it feels on my face. It's very, very soft. So it's completely up to you. Some people like to use brushes when it comes to concealing. Again, it's a preference. You have to find what you like for you to make an executive decision on what you're going to use for your face. So I'm going to go ahead and blend all this out, and you guys are going to see exactly how it looks once I'm finished. Alrighty, so now that I went ahead and blended out all of my concealer using not only my sponge, but also my foundation brush to kind of even out some of those really rugged marks from the beauty blender, I went ahead and smoothed out all my face. Now I'm gonna go ahead and apply my setting powder. Now, again, this is a part that I do that I consider to be natural. I like to set my concealer. It doesn't work for everybody. Not everybody wants to do the extra step. Not everybody wants to apply setting powder, or some people just don't know how, which is totally fine. But this is part of my natural routine, so I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate how I do that and apply that on my makeup today. For my setting powder, I do like to use the Airspun loose face powder. This is a translucent formula, so when it like colors out and when you brush it off, it's like that nice flush skin tone that you have. It's not a color or pigment that you're adding to your face. So again, I use Airspun. This is what it looks like. You can buy it on Amazon, Ulta. You can buy it pretty much anywhere as long as you look up the name. But this is what I'm gonna apply on as my setting powder. Alrighty, so I just finished applying the setting powder to my face. So while this go ahead and set, I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows. Now for my eyebrows, I do use a pencil that I actually just sharpened right before this video. So if it breaks on me, oh my gosh, I'll be so upset. I'll just sharpen it again. But anyway, this is the Milani pencil. It is called the stay-put-brow-pomade-pencil, and this is what it looks like. It's double-sided, so it does have a spoolie at one side, and then of course, it's the pencil on the other side. So you guys can kind of look at how that works. This is like my favorite pencil of all time. And when it runs out and I cannot find it, I literally want to cry. So that's why I love about buying makeup online, because you're bound to find it somewhere. But I do like to get my pencils in stores so I can just buy them all up and not have to wait for shipping. But we can't win at everything. Okay, so I went ahead and did my eyebrows, and now I'm gonna go ahead and wipe down all of my setting powder because my eyebrows are now complete, and get all this off my face. Now, if you choose to leave your powder on longer, that is a preference in itself. Again, I'm not a makeup artist. I just do this for fun and for myself, and this is what I like to do. So if you want to keep yours on your entire time, by all means, it's a free country. Do what you want. So the next step that I'm going to go ahead and get into is my bronzer. So my bronzer is quite a heavy bronzer, I'm not going to lie. It's a Physicians Formula bronzer, and actually came in a kit with a highlighter, a blush, and this bronzer. I literally only use the bronzer because I literally love it. It's thick. It's like, I don't even need to put that much on my brush, and I'm doing my entire face. And I love that about it because I don't like to waste product, and I also don't want to look like I'm 10 skin tones darker than what I am. So I love that a little bit of this goes a long way. So this is the one I use. It's a butter bronzer. And again, it's by Physicians Formula. I got this one again in a kit, but this is the only one I like to use. The cool thing about this bronzer is it does come with a mirror and like a little application sponge on its own, but I use a brush. I actually use one of Morphe's brushes that are partnered with Jeffree Star, and it's like a nice flat soft brush. I love Jeffree Star's brushes on my skin. They feel really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and bronzer up my face and show you guys what it looks like once I'm finished. Okay, so now that I'm completely bronzed, as you can see, it's a nice soft bronze. It's not heavy contour. I did this super fast. So again, if you don't want to use bronzer, you don't have to. For me, this is part of a natural look that I'd be comfortable with. And I enjoy putting on bronzer because it doesn't take me too long. So for me, that's part of a natural kind of look. Again, if you don't like to use bronzer, or you want something without it, or you want something fast, don't use it. It's, again, a preference to what you like to put on your face. So the next part I'm going to do is my blush. I do put blush on as part of a natural look for me. And this is a blush by L'Oreal called Paradise. And it's like a peachy kind of color. Very, very soft on my skin. It looks just like this. Keep in mind, blush goes a long way. A little bit goes a long way. And just like I mentioned with the bronzer and how I don't want to be another skin tone, I also don't want to be a peach crayon. So be very mindful on how much you put. If you're a person that likes a little bit, then put a little. If you like a lot, then put a lot. Makeup is how you express yourself. So do whatever you feel comfortable with. For me, a little bit of blush goes a long way. I do like to have that rosy color because I don't really have rosy cheeks as a natural, pigment in my face. So I do put a little bit extra, but keep in mind, blush does go a long way. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this and show you guys the aftermath. Alrighty, so I went ahead and applied my blush, and as you can see, it's not too much that I applied, and it looks like I did miss my nose a little bit, so let me just add that on there. Alright, so that's completely finished. The next portion I'm going to go ahead and do is my highlight. Now, there are some people that like to OD highlight, shine bright like a diamond. Hey, whatever floats your boat. For me, very, very simple. I like to do up here, right by the corner of my eye, a little bit of my nose and my upper lip. And most times I do under my eyebrows. After I go ahead and put like a very nude eyeshadow color on my eyes, I do go above and do right here on the bridge of my eye. I do put a little bit on there to accentuate my eyebrow curve, especially when my eyebrows are not done like they are right now. And I like that too. I like the way that looks. So I'm going to go ahead and put on my highlight as well as some light brown eyeshadow on my eyelids as well to kind of even out the concealer that I have, the foundation, all that fun jazz. And you guys can see that final look when it comes with the highlight. Alrighty, so I went ahead and applied my highlight as well as my eyeshadow palette. And this is the highlight that I use by Airspun. It is the Loose Face highlighter. And the color that I actually use is from this palette. a Morphe called 19 Neutral Territory. I'm going to show you exactly which one to use. So the palette looks just like this, and then the color that I use is this one right here. This is the color that I use for my skin tone. So just find a color that works for you. Some people will go a little bit darker on their eyelids. Again, a preference. And that's definitely something I want to highlight. It is whatever you feel comfortable with putting on your skin and what makes you feel good. So never feel like because someone's showing you what they do, it's exactly what you have to do. You have to make makeup your own and feel comfortable in what you're wearing. So that is what I do when it comes to my natural look. So the next portion of this, I'm going to go ahead and put my mascara on. Now I'm going to do this off camera because we all know girls make funny faces when they put on mascara. So I'm going to do this off camera. I do use a few mascaras, sometimes all in one sitting, and most of the time all in one sitting. But my two go-to are from Great Lash and Style Studio. So these are my two go-tos. I'll do them cohesively together. I mainly put on this one first, and then I'll add this one on top. And then for my bottom lash, I strictly use this one because it brushes more fine. So I feel like I'm not going to get mascara everywhere. So I'm going to go put this on and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I went ahead and put on all of my mascara. And I also took the excess foundation and concealer off my lips. And I just use a basic makeup wipe to do that. So I'm pretty much all finished. This is what my natural look looks like. Let me put some chapstick on because I definitely need it. But it's completely at your preference on if you decide that you want to add lashes or liner. I'm not wearing either of those. And for that reason, this is my natural look. Now, if I want to be a little bit glammed up, I might add a nice matte lip on, a nice little wing, and add a set of lashes. And you can literally go from being very natural to glam just by doing those three things. So if you want to take this a step further, then I would recommend a nice lip and a nice line if you decide to do a waterline or a cat eye, and then add a nice simple pair of lashes, or you can volumize them up, but it's at your preference. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna go ahead and fix up my hair and show you the final look, and come back again. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and share if you want, because the more that we share each other's videos and support each other, the more we can all grow as a community. So take care and thanks for watching.